Professor Vex had invited the Deathworlder, a human named David, to give a lecture on primitive warfare strategies. It was meant to be educational, a chance to study how lesser species approached conflict before acquiring advanced technology. It was a mistake. David stood before 40 alien academics from the Galactic Institute of Strategic Studies. Vorthan warriors, Kellian tacticians, Sethram historians, and XRNAK battle theorists filled the amphitheater. They'd come to observe the quaint military concepts of a death-world species. "I'll be discussing Earth's wars," David began calmly. "Specifically, what we called the World Wars of the 20th century. The first one killed approximately 17 million people. The second killed 85 million. A Kellian raised 3 limbs. In a single conflict? In 2, David confirmed. With weapons that, by galactic standards, were laughably primitive. No energy weapons. No force fields. No advanced robotics. Just chemistry, metal, and human ingenuity. He activated the holographic display. Images of trenches appeared, kilometers of fortified positions where soldiers stood face to face for years, unable to advance, unable to retreat. "This is called trench warfare," David explained. Both sides dug massive defensive networks. Then they sent soldiers directly into machine gun fire. Millions of them. Knowing it was suicide. Knowing they'd lose. "Why?" a Vorthan asked, genuinely confused. If defeat was certain, why continue? "Because," David said quietly, "neither side could afford to surrender. Their entire civilization depended on victory. So they kept sending soldiers. And soldiers kept dying. A single battle, the Battle of the Somme, killed over 1 million people in 4 months. The amphitheater fell silent. "That's insane," the Sethram historian whispered. "That's Earth," David replied. "We're really good at insane when survival is on the line." He switched images. Chemical weapons appeared on screen: mustard gas, chlorine gas, nerve agents. Soldiers with faces melting, lungs collapsing, nervous systems shutting down. "We weaponized chemistry itself," David said. "Turned the air into poison. Millions died horribly. And when we realized how horrible it was, we kept using it because the alternative was losing." "This is barbaric," a XRNAK stated flatly. "It's human," David corrected. "Let me explain something about my species. We don't have exoskeletons. We don't have natural weapons. We can't sense magnetic fields or process information at light speed. We're fragile. We die easily." He paused. "So we learned something your species never had to: how to make other humans more fragile. How to weaponize desperation. How to turn an entire civilization into a war machine." He displayed the Holocaust, systematic genocide of 6 million people. "And sometimes," David continued, "we turned those weapons on our own species. This was deliberate extinction targeting based on ethnicity, religion, ideology. We created machines whose only purpose was to kill efficiently. We built camps. We organized murder on an industrial scale." The amphitheater was completely silent now. "After that," David said, "we developed nuclear weapons. Devices that could destroy an entire city in one explosion. Then we built enough of them to destroy human civilization completely. Twice over. We had the capability to make our species extinct, and we nearly did it multiple times. Why are you showing us this?" Professor Vex demanded. "Why reveal such incompetence?" David smiled grimly. "Because you invited me to give a history lesson. And this is our history. This is what happens when a species that evolved to survive at any cost encounters another species and decides survival means domination." He looked directly at the assembled academics. "Your species studies warfare academically. You treat it as theory. You analyze it. You debate it. But humans don't debate survival. We commit to it. Completely. Absolutely. We'll poison the air, burn the earth, destroy our own civilization rather than admit defeat. Is this a threat? Achelian asked. It's context, David replied. You invited a Deathworlder to teach you about war. I'm showing you what Deathworld warfare actually looks like. Not honor. Not strategy. Not even logic. Just raw, desperate, absolute commitment to victory at any cost. He deactivated the display. On Earth, we learned that war is hell. On your worlds, war is strategy. That's the difference between species that could afford to lose and species that never could. David walked toward the exit, leaving the horrified academics in stunned silence. Professor Vex stared at the empty podium for a long moment. Cancel the lecture series, he finally said. I don't think we're ready to learn from Deathworlders.